Are they really going to do things to make housing more affordable? What are their strategies around alternatives to higher education? What are they going to do to protect Medicaid for seniors and to really make sure that people have choices? What's up, everybody? We're back again with another political talk. Politics as usual. Do, 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 do. I love that song. So we're talking about the Republican platform. We're trying to be unbiased, but we're doing a terrible job of that. So I hope my Republican friends still watch this and don't hate me for it. But we think politics are super important because it's not about the people. It's about the policies. What are the policies that people are standing for? So we're now on to the next chapter of the Republican platform that's out 2024, and that chapter is number 4. And it says, bring back the American dream and make it affordable again for families, young people, and everyone. Sounds awesome. I don't know that I'm going to have much to critique on this one. Bring back the American dream and make it affordable again for families, young people, and everyone. All right, cool. Well, that sounds awesome. Let's see how they're planning to do that or what their commitment is here. So our Republicans offer a plan to make the American dream affordable again. We commit to reducing housing, education, and healthcare costs while lowering everyday expenses and increasing opportunities. Wow. Even more amazing. Not much detail there, but let's see what they plan to do. Number 1, housing affordability. To help new home buyers, Republicans will reduce mortgage rates by slashing inflation, which we've talked about in other videos. Open limited portions of federal lands to allow for new home construction. Okay. Promote home ownership through tax incentives and support for first-time home buyers, and cut unnecessary regulations that raise housing costs. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Not sure what the unnecessary regulations are. Again, we talked about regulations in the past. Are there potentially some unnecessary regulations? I don't know. My guess is that there probably is. It's the government. There's probably some unnecessary or inefficient or, hurdles to overcome. Red tape, as they call it. So if there's a chance to pull some of that back, maybe that's a positive thing. But again, we always are concerned about what regulations exactly are you pulling back. Because we don't want folks redlining. That was something that happened in housing that we don't think is a good thing. We don't want that to come back. And if there's a regulation that is even in place to stop that from happening, we don't want that removed, right? So you just got to be, that could spur some housing affordability. Because I could imagine some home prices would start to drop if you've heard of this thing called white flight. I know it was a thing back in the day where, certain cities where the, more economically involved people leave the city, then that becomes an issue for the city itself. And it could create some affordability because everything would basically, the prices would drop drastically because the demand would go down. So we don't want that. Let me not assume that that's what they're talking about. Opening limited federal lands to allow for new home construction. Not sure what that is. Don't know why the lands are blocked right now. Is it because it's, I'm just making up stuff here, but is it because it's maybe American Indian land, or maybe it's something historically important, and someone's for some reason not allowing new home sites to be built there. All that stuff is interesting to me. You just gotta look at it with some specific some specifics about, okay, housing affordability will be good because if people can afford houses, that's materially can help them build wealth. It can help them in terms of their wealth journey and their net income, and kind of close that gap, because there's a lot of people who don't uh, participate in home ownership, and they don't participate fast enough or soon enough, um, especially black people, and that's sad to see, sad to hear. People don't think they can afford houses. People don't even have the mindset to go get a house. And so, if we can change something about that, and the Republicans are the party to help us do that, then that'd be great. Um, so they say that's what they're going to do. So if you like that, you could potentially want to vote for that. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They seem to lack details on that, but they say they're going to make housing more affordable. Let's see what number two is. I guess this is all a part of bringing back the American dream, having a home. Let's see what number two is for the American dream: accessible higher education. So they're going to reduce the cost of higher education. The Republicans will support the creation of additional, drastically more affordable alternatives to a traditional 4-year college degree. Interesting. Creation of additional, drastically more affordable alternatives to a. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure. College is expensive. Schooling has been critiqued for being a bit archaic. You've heard people say that, if some of the old presidents from the 1700s came into our society, they wouldn't recognize much except for the schooling system. And so there's a lot of critiques around our academic system and the way it works, and kind of the process. Is there a way to make that better? Potentially. And they say that they're going to try to do that. So that's another one where, hey, American dream, higher education, they're going to create some alternatives to your regular college degree, and make it more affordable. Don't know how they're going to do that. They don't have many details on this one, but they say they're going to do it. So if you trust that and you believe that, then that may be a reason to vote Republican. See what the third one is here: affordable health care. Oh, this is another good one. What's interesting to me on these topics, stuff more affordable, higher education more affordable health care, these sound almost like Democratic sort of policies. So I don't know if they're just wordsmithing here or if this is legit. But anyway, sounds good. Like, I think the way folks should think about it, I mean, none of us should be just blanket, I just vote Republican or I just vote Democrat. And you got to look at the policies. You got to look at, you know, who's going to get the job done. If there's a problem to be solved, let's look at who can solve the problem versus, I'm just this way or just that way. So I do think that we should challenge our thinking on, what party we think represents our ideas the best. We shouldn't just say, "Oh, I've always been a Democrat and I'm going to always be a Democrat." Well, let's make sure that the Democrats are solving our problems too. And like I've told you before, once we get their most up-to-date platform, we're going to go through it in much detail as well. But again, this lacks detail. It looks like it's one of the shorter chapters in this platform, but they say here they're going to make healthcare affordable. And I just thought it was interesting that this seems to be more of a Democratic policy, or Democratic type topic. So they're going to healthcare and prescription drug costs are out of control. Okay, that's definitely true. They're going to promote choice and competition and expand access to new affordable healthcare and prescription drug options. We will protect Medicare. And they were going to protect Medicare and ensure seniors receive the care they need without being burdened by excessive costs. Wow. Most times you hear from the Republican Party that these Medicare and Social Security and these things that help offset costs for older people are not sustainable. They cost too much, and they need to be gutted and restarted. So it's actually surprising language to hear. But yeah, if they're going to do that, then hey, that might be another reason to vote for them. The last thing here is lower everyday costs. So Republicans will reduce the regulatory burden, lower energy costs, and promote economic policies that drive down the cost of living and prices for everyday goods and services. So this one kind of relates to some of our earlier topics where we say, hey, okay, you're going to remove regulatory burden for energy, but we talked about that in the last episode. Is that, what are you going to reduce? And are you just going to start letting people drill, baby, drill? And could that lower our costs now? Probably, but will it cost us more in the future when we're dead and gone? And people are dealing with an Earth that's drastically different because we didn't make the right decisions in the short term. I question that a bit. I look at it with a bit of a side eye. But this chapter of bringing back the American dream seems to be saying all the right stuff. It just lacks details. So what are the specifics about how they're going to do this? But it's nice rhetoric to hear them talk that they're going to change that. So that's chapter 4. Not a ton to discuss on this one around the Republican policy. But it's certainly something to look into for yourself to see, are they really going to, maybe you can do your own research, are they really going to do things to make housing more affordable? What are their strategies around alternatives to higher education? What are they going to do to protect Medicaid for seniors and to really make sure that people have choices as it relates to prescription drugs and those type of costs. And then what are they going to do to lower everyday costs? If they could do these things without making a big mess of things or really hurting more people than they're helping, then these could be positive things. So this is probably our most positive episode around the reviewing the Republican platform, chapter 4. So dig into it yourself. I hope that gives you a little more insight as to what they're saying they're going to do. Many people are just, looking at the people again, and no one's digging into the policies that these people are meant to represent. And so we're digging into it, and we think it's important for you to dig into it as well. So hopefully that helps you. Until next time, I want you to stay motivated, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know any research that you did on this topic, and if there's something we can learn from you. All right. Until next time, y'all stay motivated. It's your boy, StephenMotivate. Peace.